When I think about Le Dor Vador, and I think about it now as parents of adult children, how much pride I know Alan and I both get when we see our children continuing the work and the traditions, their involvement in organizations and committees, certainly our son Josh, who's local, who's involved in Federation. That gives me such great pride and a real feeling of accomplishment that we're moving forward, that we're going into the world and going to continue to pass along our traditions. How does it feel to you to see all the things your children have accomplished?
Yeah, my oldest son flew the coop early and went to California because he did not want to compete with his father. He became the president of his federation in, what do they call it?
East Bay.
East Bay, California. And has been totally active, not only in his local community, but nationally with community relations, as his grandfather was, and his father.
We grew up with it. I mean, I still remember when we were kids, we went to Atlantic City every year for the NACRAC convention, the National Jewish Community Relations Council, that my dad was involved in forever. And as kids, we used to go to the boardwalk every year for when they had a meeting. And it was just one of those things that we knew was important in our lives, being involved in the community. And when I moved to California, so to get as far away from Cleveland as I could until I hit an ocean, I still found the Jewish community when I came here and got involved with the JCRC here, then the Federation and many organizations, because it's just the way we grew up, was to be involved and to give back to the community.
And I have a middle son who has spread his wings, he thought, since the rest of us were taking care of the Jewish community. He needed to take care of the rest of the world. So he found himself in Africa, taking care of a community there, and he still does to this day.
What were the family practices? So both of our parents, our entire lives, from when we were little kids till today with Mom, were very involved in the community in different organizations, on committees and leadership roles, always sort of role modeling involvement in the community. And I can even remember, Friday nights going to my grandmother's house, my dad's mom, and he walked in the door, and the first thing she did was had the little can of money for some charity. She had a whole line of them in the closet. And you had to, any coins in your pocket had to go into the pishka. So, it was just always part of our life, one way or the other.
So Le Dor Vador has, I think, always resonated with our family. And as Dara said, I learned it from my parents. I learned it from my dad's grandmother, which was the only grandparent I knew, going back to her cupboard full of blue boxes and hosting rabbis at her home when she came to town, to my parents' involvement. And I think that's always been instilled in us, that it's important to carry out the work that needs to be done. And it doesn't matter if we finish it or not. Others will continue the work we do, just as we are continuing the work of those who came before us in the community.
What inspires me to give back to the community, and when I say me, we all give things that are interested to us, but certainly to all of us. It's not really a who or a what. I think it's really the need and the deep need that exists in the world, whether it's rescuing people from different parts of the world who are under duress, or feeding people, or creating innovative programs so that young people can succeed and learn more. It's the inspiration is in the work, and actually seeing how together partnerships and collaborations and building consensus can really make a difference.
I recall something that my dad said to me a long time ago, which about how one leads their life, that One of the things my dad said to me many years ago was to live below your means, except when it comes to your philanthropy, to helping others. And I think both Dara and I have really kept that in the back of our minds, that we are truly fortunate to be living in a time and a place where Jews have freedom, we have religious freedom, we have economic freedom, and the Janowitz family has been very fortunate with both of those. And I feel there's an obligation to give back, to share that, to help those who don't have the advantages that we have today, whether they're Jewish or not.
Well, one picture that remains in my mind all my life is when I was very young in Duluth, Minnesota. And we lived pretty close to the middle of the city. And at least 2 or 3 times a week, we would get a knock at our back kitchen door. And it was a man who had nothing, was in rags, and would tell my mother, "Lady, I'm hungry, can you give me a nickel?" My mother would not give him a nickel. She brings him in the house and she makes him a meal. And when he's ready to go, she gives him a nickel. And I couldn't understand this. I mean, she'd take all, and this would happen at least twice a week. But my parents both were very generous, very giving. We ate in our dining room every night. And at least 2 or 3 times, and always on Friday night, there would be a knock on the door. And my dad would say, "Let him in," because he knew it was a beggar. Came to the table, would give him money, would give him bread. And of course, word gets around. We were interrupted almost every Friday night at our table. But that's the way we were.